What's up, Bulldog? All right, I got a question from Andy is what he calls himself here. He says, hey John, video idea for ya. How to let a girl vent her emotions to you and resolve the problem versus just apologizing. Okay, here's the deal. As a man, if you want to have a successful relationship with a woman, you have to understand that a woman needs to vent her emotions. It's not something that you get to do, it's something that she gets to do. Because women are emotional, you want that feminine energy, you want a woman to be in her feminine, you have to be in your masculine, which means you don't get to do that. You don't get to be like, I had a hard day, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying you can't ever share what's going on with you. That's a different topic, but you don't get to do the same thing that she does. She needs to express all these emotions and let them out, and a lot of times that's gonna come out on you, okay? That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You don't want your woman to be stoic. You don't want your woman to be a man. She needs you as a pressure valve in her life in order to be able to feel safety, which translates into sexuality. I promise you, when a woman vents her emotions to you, she's gonna open up to you sexually if you handle this right. But what Andy's asking here is he's saying, how do you let a girl vent those emotions and actually resolve the problem versus just apologizing, right? So he's talking about perhaps when you've done something that she's upset about. So let me give you a great example of this, of where I screwed this up. I've talked about this before. It's a good story. I was out at a winery with my now wife, Nicole. We were waiting for the guy to come and give us a flight of wine, you know, to do a wine tasting thing. Again, I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank for 2 years. I'm completely 100% no alcohol. I think that's a great lifestyle. You should adopt it. But for the purpose of this story, that was before that. All right. So anyway, we're waiting there. No one's showing up. We're standing around and Nicole leans in to kiss me. All right. And so I kiss her. And while I'm kissing her, I'm looking over at the counter because I thought I saw some guy coming. I want to make sure we don't miss him because we've been waiting around for a while. I didn't think anything of it, but she starts acting a little cold, which again, that's not the right response to act cold, but hey, this is about me. It's not about her. So she's acting a little bit cold. And then she's like, I want to go. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We're going to get a wine tasting. Like, why do you want to go? She's like, I want to leave. So I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. Right. So I'm like, all right, I have no idea what's going on. Take her outside, get in the car. Right. And she says, I said, what's wrong? What's going on? She's like, you don't love me. And I'm like, what? How could you even say this to me? Right. I'm starting to get upset here. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you weren't looking at me when you kissed me. And this is where I was about to lose my shit. I'm like, are you kidding me? After all I do and all the things I show you to show you that I love you, how are you gonna say this? I was looking for the person to get the wine at the counter, right? Like, I wasn't looking at some chick. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I was just trying to make sure we didn't miss the guy. And she's like, I don't even know how she gets upset, obviously. She's like, oh, you don't care about, like, you always act this way, whatever. And we end up having about a 4-hour discussion in that car, I think. I'm trying to tell her about how that's not the way to handle things. That's not right. How could you treat me like this? You know, not give me the benefit of the doubt. We've been together. I treat you so well. And one little thing like this happens and this is how you respond. You get upset, like you don't have any kind of understanding. I'm trying to communicate that point, and the whole time getting more and more upset because she's feeling like I don't care about how she feels. This whole thing could have been resolved without me necessarily apologizing. I don't need to apologize. Did I do something wrong in that case? No, I didn't do something wrong. It was an innocent thing. It wasn't wrong at all. But did she feel hurt by it? Yes. Is that what matters? Yes. So here's what you do. Here's what I should have done. Instead of saying what I said, when she said you were looking away, you didn't look at me when you kissed me, I could have said, oh, repeat it back to her. Oh, wow, I didn't even realize it. So I was looking away when I kissed you. Wow, I definitely didn't mean to make you feel that way. I'm sorry that you feel that way. I care that you feel that way. Tell me more about this. Why did it make you feel that way? And that hurt your feelings? What were you thinking? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, you know, I can understand. Yeah, I definitely didn't want to make you feel like that. I love you. I really care about you. It was an oversight. I'll make sure that I take this into account in the future. Yeah, I don't want you to feel like that. I'm not admitting wrongdoing. I'm not apologizing. But what I am doing is I'm acknowledging her feelings, that her feelings matter to me. All that a woman wants is to know that you care about how she feels. She doesn't even need the issue resolved. My advice to you is that when you're in this kind of situation, a woman is venting, especially for something that she's upset at you about, don't apologize. Instead, what you do is this, okay? Pause, take a breath. Then what I want you to do is ask her about it. Get some clarifying question, right? Say, hey, why did you feel this way? Or how did you feel about that? Tell me more about that. Show some empathy. And then at the end, if she's approached things in the wrong way, then you can correct and you can say, hey, you know, by the way, look, the way that you handled this, I really didn't like that. That's where you add instruction at the end, not at the beginning. Because at the beginning, she's emotional. She's gonna be upset. You can say, hey, you know, in the future, like, I would appreciate that you show me a little bit more respect in this area because it wasn't something that was intentional. So if you're upset and you're hurt and you just tell me, hey, yeah, this hurt my feelings, that's that's fine. But being cold and not being very clear about it and saying things like, you don't love me, those are not appropriate things to say. Now she's learned and now she's been educated. Does that make sense? Do you guys get that? All right, if you want some help on this and really growing your relationship, I'm putting more content like this in the Bulldog Mindset membership, including there's still pickup content in there. If you want to learn how to get a girl, you can do that as well. Just click the link down below and we'll get you started. See you tomorrow.